Hi there guys, my name's John from ActiveJR.com, and in this video I'm doing a review of the Vivosmart 4. Now the Vivosmart 4 came out a couple of months ago. I was really excited to review this device because I reviewed the Vivosmart 3, and I'm going to take you through my feelings on the device, the activities I've taken it through, and give you my opinion. Before we get started, if you want to subscribe to this channel, it's really appreciated, and also if you want to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, again it'd be really appreciated. And also if you want one of these devices, you can find in the description below where there is some prices at the moment from Amazon. Now, starting with the design first of all, the Garmin Vivosmart 4 is a lot smaller than the Vivosmart 3 from last year. It comes in a compact design, and most of the actual fitness tracker is made of a silicone material. It comes in various different color options and various different sizes. Now, just like the Vivosmart 3, it's waterproof, so you can use it for showering. So that's a really good addition to this year's model. Now, taking a look at the buckle on the Vivosmart 4, it is a buckle design. Now moving around the back of the fitness tracker, you've got the optical wrist-based heart rate sensor. You've also got the PulseOX sensor, which I'll touch on a little bit more later. And you've also got the charging port. Now moving on to that screen, the clarity and crispness has increased, and that's because of the OLED screen that's been used this time. And one of the things that actually struck me this time was how small this screen actually is. And I did find it sometimes difficult to navigate the screens, especially when I was working out or doing an activity. And now the menus and the interface is very simple. It's only got a couple of layers of menus. So if you're looking for a fitness tracker that's got simple menus, easy to navigate in terms of the layout of those menus, then this is a great fitness tracker to look at. And now there's also an haptic feedback button, and this is used to either access the activity menus or some of the deeper menus, or it's used when you want to get straight back to the beginning of where you started. Now the setup process is very simple. I think Garmin have got this better over time. So if you're used to using a Garmin device, it's exactly the same as the setup process using Garmin Connect. If you've not, all you need to do is download the Garmin Connect app from the relevant app store, set up an account, and then pair via Bluetooth. Now, one thing I do want to point out, and I do point out this with all wearables, make sure that your height, your weight, and your age are accurate, because this is the data that's used to calculate calorie burn on all of the other data that goes into your fitness tracking. Now, moving on to fitness tracking, this is the very reason why you're probably thinking about buying a fitness tracker or already got a fitness tracker, is for the fitness tracking features. Now, the Vivosmart 4 supports step tracking, stairs climbed, resting heart rate, and calorie burned, and all of those great things. Now, I'm not going to go into much detail about those other than to say I found them fairly accurate. Apart from the resting heart rate was slightly higher than my normal activity tracker. The number of activities the Vivosmart 4 tracks is up to 10, and these are already predefined within the actual fitness tracker. Starting an activity is pretty simple. You just go to the activity menu, and then once you select the activity you want to use, you simply double tap. You can then scroll through the screens as you are doing the activity, and at the end, again, you double tap, and then you just simply save. Vivosmart 4 also can track activities if you forgot to actually start the actual tracker. This is called Move IQ, and it can track things like walking, running, swimming, and also a gym activity. Now, it does this when it detects an increase in heart rate or a lot of movement, and it will automatically record. It won't give you our distance travel and all of those things, but it will give you credit in the Garmin Connect app. One of the disappointing things about this fitness tracker, it doesn't include the GPS tracking, and it hasn't even got connected GPS like you'd find in the Charge 3. Now, it does try to calculate the distance travel, say for a running or a walking activity, but I didn't find it overly accurate. I did a couple of tests with this, and it simply didn't record the correct distances or even the average pace. So really disappointing when it came to that. And even after I changed the stride length as advised to do so, it still didn't make any real difference. So overall, not really impressed with the distance tracked and the lack of GPS in this device. As I've already mentioned, just swim tracking, however, it doesn't track SWOLF or other advanced data, but it will track the number of lengths that you do. When testing this out, I found it pretty accurate, and I have no particular concerns there. It also tracks strength and rep training. Now, this was featured in the Vivosmart 3 and has been rolled out to other Garmin devices. Overall, I've been impressed with the strength tracking of other Garmin devices, but in the Vivosmart 4, I'm not exactly thrilled with it. The reason I'm not exactly thrilled, it sometimes missed the number of reps that you were doing. However, that's not the reason why I was disappointed. The reason why I was disappointed is that Garmin has decided to use the same software and interface that's found on, say, Phoenix 5 onto the Vivosmart 4. Now, the reason why this is a problem is the screen is really small. And when you're using the actual strength tracking, you've got the option halfway through when you finish the set to edit the number of reps that you've done. Now, this is really cumbersome to do. It also confuses the situation. And I found that it just messes up your entire workout. It takes longer in the rest periods than you want to do, and it totally screws up your workout. So if Garmin are listening to this video, you really need to think about how you implement strength and rep tracking on a smaller screen device, because it certainly doesn't work just simply porting it from the Fenix 5, which has got a bigger screen and a lot more buttons to use. It also has data fields, and you can customize them in Garmin Connect apps. You can see different data on the screen. You've also got an auto lap option, but this is only set to 1 meter, 1 kilometer, depending on your distance preferences. And you also got audio alerts, which you can set for different types of data that you want to be alerted to when you're working out. And I found this particularly useful if you're wanting to hit a certain calorie burn. So that's really good. The Vivosmart 4 also has Bluetooth and ANT+ capability. However, it doesn't allow you to connect any external chest straps or any external sensors to the device. Now, moving on to heart rate performance. Now, it tracks your all-day heart rate, and this is pretty good, pretty much in line with my normal wearable. So I was pretty impressed. Apart from the resting heart rate was slightly higher, but overall, I'm not going to moan too much about that. However, using the optical HR sensor for activities, I was really disappointed, particularly when I went out on a run. It was really disappointing. It didn't really track where it needed to be compared to a chest strap. I was also disappointed when it comes to the optical HR sensor performance when it comes to strength training. But this is normally the case with wrist-based heart rate sensors. However, it was okay when it came to, say, a gym class or something like that. You would get away with decent heart rate readings, and it would be enough for the average person. But if you're really wanting to train via your heart rate, then this is certainly not a device for you. Now, moving on to one of the headline features, it's got what's called body battery. Now, this is a feature that tells you, based on different information throughout the day, how well that your body is charged. And then you can hopefully make decisions around if you're going to do an activity or if you're going to rest or whatever you need to do. Now, I have mixed feelings on this. I think Garmin are going in the right direction for this particular feature, and it's great to see that other fitness companies are also starting to think about this. However, there is a big thing that I think that Garmin have missed. They don't include nutrition in the actual calculation. And as we all know, nutrition is an important factor when you are working out or wanting to keep healthy. It also doesn't include activities which are from other Garmin devices via TrueUp. So looking at a couple sample days when I was using the, so this particular case, I woke up at 7:45. I'd had a good 8 hours sleep, but no real increase in the body battery. I did stay in bed until 10:30 working on my laptop. It did seem to increase over this period of time, which was whilst I was resting, which was strange. It didn't increase when I was actually asleep. But I had not actually any nutrition. All I'd had is a couple of glasses of water. So overall, my body should have not actually been recovering at that pace, I don't think. So I'm not entirely convinced about this. However, the next day, my body battery had charged to 100% according to the Vivo. However, that morning I was feeling pretty tired. I did some strength training and some running. Whilst it didn't have an impact on my body, it didn't have the impact that I thought it would. However, after that, I did some website upgrades and some maintenance, and my stress levels were pretty high because some things were going wrong. That had more of an impact on my overall day. So to summarize, Garmin's got the best intentions with this. However, they do need to consider lots of things. It needs to take into account nutrition. It needs to reflect activities in other Garmin devices. But most importantly, because the HR data, I don't think is overly accurate for activities such as running, strength training, and other things, then is it really going to show you a true reflection of the impact on your body battery if the HR data is not correct? Now, moving on to the sleep tracking and where the PulseOX sensor comes in. Now it's supposed to track when you go to sleep and all the bits in the middle, and also when you wake up. It also takes a sample of your oxygen saturation levels through the night. Now, I found it only seemed to take them between midnight and 4 a.m. Now, my overall assessment of the sleep tracking, I think it's okay. It's not 100% accurate. I don't think it will ever be. I did find it was recording me going to sleep at a different time at night, but it seems to be fairly accurate when I woke up in the morning. As I've already said, the PulseOX sensor only takes readings between a certain period of time. And also, I'm not too sure about the other bits in the middle because I'm asleep, so I'm not able to determine whether these are accurate. Now, it does include stress tracking, and this I did find pretty accurate, and it gives you a good representation throughout the day of how well you've been rested and how much stress you've taken. And looking back at certain days, we were able to identify periods of time where it showed me at high stress levels. Okay, moving on to the battery life. Garmin say that it will last up to 7 days. Now, they do make a disclaimer that with the PulseOX sensor turned on, it may not give the same battery life. And now I found with everything switched on, with the PulseOX sensor running, I was getting about 4 days of battery life. It's not that amazing, I don't think, but it's still pretty good. It'll still give you enough time to be able to use the device in between charging. Now, one of the good things, it only takes about an hour to charge to get 100%. Okay, in terms of smart notification, the Vivosmart 4 does smart notifications. It does call, text, and app alert, and they're pushed to your device from your phone. Now, you can't reply to them or interact with them. However, with an Android device, you can do quick replies. I didn't have a chance to test that because I've not got an Android device. But because the screen is so small, if it's a large alert, say a big text, it will scroll along and sometimes cut off the text. But if it's a small, you can see it. Now, to summarize about the Vivosmart 4, you probably think I've been critical and you may not be rushing out to buy this device. But I wanted to say, just think about the type of device that you want. It will benefit those that want a smaller tracker on their wrists. The screen is really bright, but it is also small. The clasp design make it really comfortable on your wrist. However, the lack of GPS and accurate distance tracking wouldn't probably suit someone that probably wants it for running or for outdoor walking. In terms of the optical HR sensor, it wasn't that accurate, I don't think. However, for some reason for gym classes and things like that, it seemed to be a bit better. So if you are someone that goes to the gym and you just want it to track your all-day activities, then maybe this might be a great option for you. Now, the body battery, I think Garmin need to do a lot of work there, but I'm really impressed they're going in the right direction, and it's only going to get better with time. But overall, not a bad device, not the best device that I've reviewed. I probably wouldn't recommend it to someone that's wanting a overly accurate heart rate tracking or distance tracking if they are training for running. You probably wouldn't be looking at this device anyway. But if you're someone that goes to the gym and you're wanting some data that's going to point you in the right direction, then this is probably a good device for you. But just remember, it has got its limitations and you need to be aware of them. Guys, thanks very much for watching this video. It's been really appreciated. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. If you've got any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below. And if you do decide after all the negativity, but also the positives, you want to buy one of these devices, then you can use the links in the description below. It helps ActiveJR to continue to make these videos at no extra cost to you. So guys, thank you very much. I'll speak to you soon.